Live from our studio in Wausau, in high definition, News Channel 7 at 10 starts now.
Friends and family are mourning the loss of an Adams County soldier who died while serving our country. It's our top story at 10. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Luzier. The Department of Defense says 19-year-old Private Ryan Larson from Friendship died yesterday in Afghanistan after insurgents attacked his unit with an explosive device. Bridget Burnett was at his high school where he's being remembered.
It is a sad day for students and administration at Adams Friendship High School. Ryan Larson graduated in 2010. His wrestling coach says the fallen soldier was on the team for 2 years. Although he was smaller built than the rest of the athletes, Larson also competed in cross country for 4 years. He says many of the students admired Larson and elected him as the school's senior class president.
Just a great kid to be around, where he always looked to improve, and whether that was in life, in school, or in athletics, he served himself well.
Along with many of his accomplishments, Larson was also on the student council for 4 years. The coach says Larson was an only child. Larson enlisted in the Army in June 2010. Counseling is available for students at Adams Friendship High School.
Larson served in the 25th Infantry Division out of Alaska. A facility dedicated to rehabilitating injured veterans is inviting you to stop by this weekend. Camp American Legion in Lake Tomahawk is a place where Wisconsin veterans recovering from physical or emotional troubles can relax and recover with one another. On Saturday, they're inviting veterans and their families to visit for the annual open house event to see what the camp has to offer.
Camp American Legion has big open arms, and we welcome any veteran who qualifies to come to camp to come. We want you to come. As a matter of fact, we are working very hard to reach out to all veterans in the state.
A week-long stay at the camp is free for veterans who qualify. The program is funded by Wisconsin's American Legion and donations. Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords is beginning the next phase of her recovery at home. The injured representative is back with her husband at his home near Houston. Doctors released the Congresswoman from the hospital yesterday. She's been undergoing intense rehabilitation for the past 5 months after being shot in the head. It's still unknown if Giffords will be able to return to Congress. She has until May of next year to decide about running for re-election. In March, a Taylor County teen went into cardiac arrest and doctors had to shock his heart 5 times to keep him alive. Now 16-year-old Tyler Toth is out of the hospital and back home with his family. Tyler has been working hard to learn how to move, talk, and walk again. 3 weeks ago, he left the hospital in a wheelchair, but now he's up and walking around his home. His mom is so proud of her son's miraculous recovery.
You know, you just don't know what's going on. You know, you pray for the best, and you know, you hear the worst possible outcomes from all these doctors, and you just pray that everything's going to be okay. And
even though he is out of the hospital, Tyler still has 3 hours of physical therapy a day. He plans to work on his recovery all summer and return to Medford High School next fall as a junior. The state budget could be close to passing. The $66 billion plan is under debate by the state Senate. The Assembly passed it early this morning after 13 hours of debate. The budget has brought out hundreds of protesters to the state capitol. 2 people were arrested after they used bike locks to chain themselves to railings in the Senate chamber. Democrats say the budget plan targets education and the poor. Republicans say it's necessary to fix the state's budget shortfall. After weeks of intense controversy, New York Congressman Anthony Weiner has called it quits. The 46-year-old Democrat announced his resignation today after fighting pressure from both parties to step down. Weiner's political problems began last month when a website posted a lewd photo that had been sent from Weiner's Twitter account. Initially, he lied, but later admitted to sending sexually explicit messages online to several women. Today, Weiner apologized for any embarrassment that he caused. Lincoln County Sheriff's deputies may have items that belong to victims of theft. A 10-month-long investigation has led them to thousands of dollars worth of wildlife mounts. 21-year-old Kyle Linder was arrested last week after deputies say they found 30 mounts in his vehicle. A detective lieutenant says the items mean a lot to their owner.
It has a unique story behind each animal, and it's, you know, it definitely hurts to have somebody come along and take something like that away from you.
Federal charges are also being recommended because the buying and selling of waterfowl is illegal in the United States. 2 waterfowl mounts were recovered during the bust.
From Storm Team 7, Chief Meteorologist Mike Brunling.
There have been a few light isolated showers this evening to the northeast of Marathon County through Langlade into Menominee counties. Otherwise, weather conditions have been quiet. Here's the view right now from our Live i7 camera high atop Rib Mountain, looking back to the northeast toward Wausau. A little bit of a haze in the air. As you can see, the visibility is just a bit restricted by that. Otherwise, right now in Wausau, we're at 64 degrees. Dew point is pretty high at 60 degrees, so the relative humidity 87%, visibility still at 10 miles. Although the winds are calm. Temperature readings across the area generally in the low 60s, as you can see. 61 in Antigo, 63 in Phillips, 64 presently in Stevens Point. Forecast for tonight, skies to go partly cloudy most of the area, but watch out for fog. Some locally dense fog will be possible. Lows 53 to 58 as winds will stay light from the east. We'll begin the day Friday with an 8 a.m. temperature range of 56 to 61. Maybe some lingering fog at that time, as east winds will stay light at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'll have the chance for a few showers and storms this weekend. Won't be an entire washout, but stay tuned. I'll have the updated forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Father's Day weekend is coming up, and that means many will be playing in one of the country's largest basketball tournaments. The Gus Macker Tournament is back in Wausau for its 20th year, and as John DeRivers explains, local businesses could see a boost.
So basketball lovers love to come back to Wausau.
540 teams, more than 2,200 players, and about 15,000 people are expected to be in Wausau for the annual Gus Macker Tournament. Organizers and volunteers spent Thursday preparing the courts.
We're going to get the courts taped today. We have the hoops placed where we need them for both sites, and we already have the tents, as you can see in the background as well. So that's today. The big day is just to get everything ready.
Macker players come from all over the Midwest, including Minnesota, Michigan, and Illinois. The Macker brings thousands of people into Wausau for the weekend, giving many local businesses a nice little boost in their summertime sales.
Whether it's dining or shopping, which is a real popular activity when people travel, gas and other services, the impact is felt throughout the entire community.
He says when people come from farther than 90 miles away, they're more likely to stay overnight in Wausau, and the longer they stay, the more likely they are to visit area businesses.
They are bringing thousands of people into the area, and outside of the event itself, they're spending time in other parts of the community.
Most players are expected to start arriving Friday morning. The tournament starts on Saturday. In Wausau, John DeRivers, News Channel 7.
The Wausau Gus Macker is the biggest basketball tournament in the state. Sometimes students can learn a lot outside of the classroom through hands-on experience in the real world. A new dairy education center is now providing that for ag students at North Central Technical College. Casey O'Halloran tells us how the center is preparing future farmers for life after graduation.
This may look like any other dairy farm.
What we have here is a 48-stall freestall barn that has a robotic milker in it.
But this place won't be just a place for cows. It's a place for students. North Central Technical College opened this Agriculture Center of Excellence on Wednesday. It's a place where ag students can see exactly how the farming world works.
The agriculture students get to learn all about the latest farming technology, like this robotic feeder.
The newest technology we could have, that's what they wanted to get here. In essence, that's why we have the robotic milker.
But they won't just learn about technology. They'll learn all about the business side of farming too. And that can be helpful when looking for a job after graduation.
And I think that gives them a step up of maybe finding future employment as this starts to evolve.
Leaders at NTC know the center will be a great resource for their students. But they hope people in our community will stop by and learn a few things too.
Everybody thinks the food comes from a grocery store, and it doesn't. It comes from operating farms like this.
In Marathon County, Casey O'Halloran, News Channel 7.
NTC leaders say the education center will be used by other students in the community, like area elementary and grade school students. Yourtown Medford's Hospital has added some horsepower to its parking lot. The Aspirus Memorial Lot has something most drivers don't see every day, a parking spot just for horse and buggies. There's enough room here to tie up a few horses.
The Amish community is a community, and they support each other. And from what I see, not just the family comes, but the immediate family and friends, and they end up with a lot of people when somebody's in the facility.
The The hospital staff worked with Amish leaders to find the best location for the hitching area. The rail is in a quiet corner of the parking lot, away from the hospital helicopter pad. It's been a busy day in sports. The Packers received their Super Bowl rings, plus the Smash softball team scored a big win. Complete coverage is still ahead, but first, Father's Day is just around the corner. But will the weather cooperate with all your plans? Mike will have the answer in his full forecast next.
You're watching North Central Wisconsin's first choice for news, weather, and sports. It's News Channel 7 at 10 with Eric Morotek, Stephanie Luzier, Sports with Dale Ryman, and Chief Meteorologist Mike Brunlin. 7 you know, 7 you trust. News Channel 7 HD.
Good thing it's not going to be too sunny or the Packers would be blinded by those rings.
Blinded by all the Yeah, let's look at the rings one more time. They got their Super Bowl rings tonight.
Wow.
At the Lambeau Field Atrium in a special ceremony. Look at that. 92 diamonds on the outside of the G. 13 diamonds inside the G for each of the 13 World Championships. That is some bling.
That is beautiful.
Boy.
Good night.